Power Platers, welcome to our Women's Health Talk on a Monday. I'm Claire, and today we're talking fat loss for women. I'm hoping that you'll come away with a few little tidbits and sort of a different perspective. So we talked last week about mindset and about just 1 minute of high intensity exercise. And on that, I just wanted to comment that more is not necessarily better. So for the average Joe, if you're doing activities and you have an active lifestyle that includes walks on the beach, etc., 1 minute 3 times a week is actually enough. End of story. Do more if it fills your cup. Don't do more if it makes you feel terrible. Today we're talking lift heavy stuff, okay? And I'm going to define what heavy is for you as well. But lifting weights has more benefits than fat loss alone. Lifting weights is actually better for you in many ways than cardio. And this is in particular regards to certain conditions like loss of muscle mass around menopause. That slows your metabolism down and gives you a lower base metabolic rate, which means you burn less energy sitting here listening to me. So the bigger muscle mass you have, and let me make it clear, you can lift heavy stuff until the cows come home. It's very unlikely you're going to build and bulk up or that you're going to look like a body shaper unless you have a very specific diet to go alongside it. So don't worry about that anymore. Osteoporosis, again, particularly around menopause, loss of bone mass is an issue for us that lifting weights can help address. Heart disease, we've talked about before, depression, anxiety, talked about before, back to basics. So those are just 4 issues that really affect us as women that we really need to be concerned about, and lifting weights will address all 4. So if you maintain or build muscle mass, you'll burn more energy at rest, which we've already discussed. It means you can eat more. And in fact, you should eat more because women don't react the same as men to fasting. So whilst you do fast, everyone fasts because we sleep at night. 12 hours is probably more ideal for women than 16 hours of fasting. And this is because our hormones don't like restriction or lack of calories. They start to panic a bit. That's a very simplified version. When you do eat more, make sure it's in the form of whole foods, especially fibrous ones. The more veggies you're getting in, the more excess estrogen you get to poo out. So that's a bit of an aside. Lifting heavy weights in any form, so even if they're heavy and endurance-based, they will reduce your risk of heart disease, stroke, and diabetes. Performing heavy strength training can help boost our growth hormone, and this will help stimulate our muscles' ability to contract. Again, the very simplified version, but keeps you strong, okay? Lifting grandchildren doesn't happen by itself. Resistance training builds resilience and can decrease depressive symptoms equally as powerfully as antidepressants, and without many of those side effects. So the more you do it, just in 10 weeks in this particular study, the more they did, the better they felt, and the more they did, the better they felt. There was no end cap to you're only going to feel 80% better ever doing weights. The more you do, the better you feel, and so on and so on. Finally, strength training increases grip strength, which is indicated for longevity. So the firmer your grip strength, the longer you're more likely to live, or the longer you're likely to live. So all these benefits aside, there is one very important note I have to make before you start your strength training journey, and that is your pelvic floor. It must be checked before you embark on a strength training journey. Now, the key to lifting heavy and to starting weights is to start light. Now, when I say light, I don't mean easy. So the terms heavy and light, when we're talking strength training in a gym, are relative. So that means light weights is you can physically lift it more than 20 times or more than 15 times, and it's heavy and it's hard still. A moderate weight, you can lift 10 to 12 times, but it's heavy and it's hard and you still get sore. So when I'm saying lift heavy stuff, I'm saying lift 5, 6 reps, okay? And then have a long rest and then do it again, okay? But as always, there are shades of grey. So if I'm telling you start lifting heavy stuff and start light, here's your progression. Go see a women's health physio. Start light. That means sets of 15 to 20, okay, of your big muscle groups. When you get good at that, you can progress with complexity or you can progress with more weight. And I'm going to give you a practical example of this later on. Once you've done that progression, then we go heavier again. You'll do sets of 10. So you'll go heavier and then heavier because you'll be able to do heavier in 15 reps of the lighter weight. The new weight will be lighter and you'll have to go heavier again. And so on. It's a period of time. It might take you 3 to 6 months to build up the way I'm going to show you. So if we start, say you're a beginner, we start you with a front squat, okay, lightweight, and we do 15 reps. There are 2 ways to progress this. We can either progress it by adding weight or we can progress it by adding complexity. So if I wanted to add complexity, I would get on the power plate and I'd keep the same weight and I would do my 15 reps with some kind of movement where I take the weight away from my body and I make it more complex and I make the weight is technically the same, but it's actually heavier because I'm moving it away from my body. Then when I felt I was ready, I might pick up even more weights and I might do 10 reps, let's say. So I just did 15. So we're 3 months down the track now. I'm doing 10 reps of a dumbbell squat. So again, I could just put the weight up, but before I do that, I'll probably increase complexity first. So I might do 1 weight up, 1 weight down for a few sets or for a little while. I might do a foot matrix. So we step to a different position every time we do our squat, and we build diversity through our bodies. And only then, let's say I've been training 6 months now, only then would I progress. I'd load up the bar. This bar's 20 kilos on its own. And I would do a back squat, say, and I would do only 6 reps. So I'm not going to do them today, and so on. So this can be made more complex before you put the weight up as well. But I like adding complexity before adding weight because it makes your body more diverse and it actually makes you stronger in more complex ways. So good luck with that. If you have any questions, feel free to comment or message us, and I'll see you next week.